Mr. James Bean of Maine, USA, launched Spiritual Awakening Radio in September 1988 out of his pure love of the great masters and their teachings. The focus of Mr. Bean's programs is to share, through radio and other media, a deeper understanding of spirituality for a more peaceful planet. He is also a mystic explorer of the inner heavenly light and sound of God, and a devotee of the spiritual path from India known as Sant Mat. In today's program, Mr. James Bean talks about his lifelong mission and his vision for the future.
Veganism, of course, has become an essential element, an essential message in recent years. So, as I've said to some people before, we're advocating that everyone go vegan. And that's our job, for the rest of our life, I think. It's with us. The issue of climate change and how veganism can help mitigate that. It's good for many other things, too, health, well-being, spirituality, and so on, across the spectrum. But with the climate change, it's like, this is the new reality. We're just going to be trying to talk as many people into going vegan as we can. And that's never going to change. No matter, 10 years from now, it's just a permanent thing, a permanent lifelong mission, I think. Not just me, but, many people have these days. It's a lifelong commitment to try and encourage people to go vegan in any way we can figure out, some angle, whether it's these texts of Christianity. I also found some vegan Rumi poems, where Rumi is outright saying, I don't use milk products. It's specifically vegan, not vaguely vegan, but outright, clearly vegan. So it's neat being able to say, here's the king of the Sufi poets. He's vegan, and maybe that will encourage people who like Rumi poetry, to go vegan. I have a booklet on the Sikh vegetarian passages, to encourage them to give up eating meat and go in a veg direction, or preferably vegan direction. There's actually a vegan Sikh movement these days. And so we're just going to be at this for the rest of our lives. So it's all hands on deck, and we've got to talk as many people into going vegan as we can to help put off those tipping points, that we hear about with climate change. So that constant message of encouraging people to go vegan, whether it's for health reasons, like Michael Greger is doing, for spiritual reasons, ethical reasons, or all of the above, or to save the earth, to save the world, save the future, make the world a more peaceful place. So many good reasons to go vegan. So a win-win-win-win. That's a lifelong mission, and so I do see a greater percentage of the population becoming vegan. It's kind of going mainstream now. We're starting to see, 10 years ago, people didn't even know what the word vegan meant. They would have to Google it and to see what it means, and now everyone does know. So it's a gradual transition. These things take a long time, and it's easy to be impatient. Evolution is very slow. But we are seeing movement in that direction, and it's just a lifelong process.
Mr. James Bean quoted Supreme Master Ching Hai, as he also resonates deeply with Master's selfless ideal.
I actually have one from Supreme Master Ching Hai, from a document I was very drawn to. It was taken from, or transcribed from, between Master and disciples, called Always Be Mindful of Your Connection with the Divine. Our job is just beginning. It is always beginning. Until the world turns into a paradise and peaceful everywhere, our job's not done. Until the animals are free from suffering and respected as individual beings from God, our job is not done. I just like that a lot.
We'll pause now to pray for the dawning of a vegan world, We'll return after a constructive message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back, friendly viewers. Some of us find it difficult at times to make the shift to the brighter side. Mr. Bean offers some advice on how to avoid negative influences and turn instead to our inner voice.
There are many benefits to spiritual practice or sadhana. When you've used your phone a lot, it needs its battery to be recharged. And our true spiritual home is elsewhere. We're from the spiritual realm. We're just visiting here. We're renting. We don't own. We're just renting this body and this plane. And so we need to go into ourself and find spiritual repose, rest, to spiritually recharge. Like the phone needs its battery to be recharged. We have to spend some time in meditation in order to be cleansed from the impressions or karma, the negativity, call it what you will, of the physical plane. So we just need that spiritual break, to go back to get cleansed, baptized, take a swim in the ocean of love, call it what you will. That sense of being centered or restful in meditation. We just need that to stay sane, to get by, to make life sacred. When we meditate, we make life sacred. We bring some of that heaven with us when we're done meditating, go about our day.
We admire those who have firm beliefs and fortitude to do what is right. We also believe that with the help and blessings from heaven, a vegan world will surely come.
So I would like to think that the future will be one that's plant-based, green energy, and that we will be able to avert the more apocalyptic end of the spectrum when it comes to climate change, that we will have a positive future, and a more compassionate future. And I think that's the direction that we're headed in, and have been headed in, actually, for a long time now. A more compassionate world. Probably more compassionate than we would expect based on what we see now. I think the world probably will become a very peaceful place at some point. There may be a couple of cities underwater. There's some difficulties with the climate that we're starting to live with in some places. But I do think that we will have a more compassionate future, and that it will be better than we think. I think it will be a more compassionate, more peaceful world than we expect it will, based on where we're at present.
Supreme Master Ching Hai has contributed several times to further the good cause of Mr. James Bean and Spiritual Awakening Radio. In 2009, she offered $5,000 along with some of her books, DVDs, and CDs. In 2018, she also provided the English book series, The Key of Immediate Enlightenment, Volumes 1 to 5, along with other DVDs. Most recently, in 2019, Supreme Master Ching Hai gave $20,000 to Mr. James Bean and Spiritual Awakening Radio to lovingly support his veg promotion.
Supreme Master Ching Hai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort, and support to the afflicted and needy, and or any good cause over the years, as a humble vessel for His compassion and love toward His precious children.
For more information, please visit spiritualawakeningradio.com or email james@spiritualawakeningradio.com.